Now, these Skandhas, again, are sort of, if you know systems theory, it's a sort of here and now analysis. We're not going back in history. If you ask when does this begin, you get an answer. It's beginningless time. It's beginningless. So it's really based on the here and now. It's a cycling through right now. It's a systems approach. It's looking at it as what's happening right now in the personality, in the ego-bound system. And the 5 Skandhas are a portrait of the ego. So from the clustering of concepts, we finally get a flowering of consciousness, which is this world that I would experience right now, where thought generates thought. Consciousness is the mind that generates thought, generates conversations, emotions. It's the world that you really seem to live in, and it's sort of generating things. It's more than just cycling. An interesting thing is then at this point then consciousness, which is conditioned by karma in this case, consciousness then, if you would imagine these things cycling through, then consciousness comes back and cycles through form, so it can create then the world of form. So that's how mind again affects quote matter unquote, which is really our experience, our awareness of the world, of the risings of the senses rather. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then cycling through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is said this process occurs instantaneously, so fast, like if you had 5 layers of leather and you shot an arrow through, that's how quickly it goes through. In classical sources, I believe I've read, it cycles through every 60th of a second, every 100th of a second. This is it's difficult for me to imagine being able to perceive that short a span of time, but it is said that the ancients, the practitioners of the beginning of students of the Buddha, close to that period, their concentration was so sharp that we're able to slow down or notice and observe such minute masses of what we call time. Again, why the Skandhas? Why study this? Well, again, consider Buddhism not as a philosophy. You're not being told necessarily what is true so that then you can cling to this truth. It is intended to take you beyond concept, to being, to contact with the nature of mind, with your real presence. So the analysis is to analyze the self, because normally we have a sense of this self as this solid thing that's in there somewhere, that I really am. I might say, well, I'm the body, or no, I'm not the body, I'm the heart, it's in my heart, or there's something in my brain that's the self. But when you push it, and psychology has not been able to solve this issue because they don't take things beyond biology and the content of the mind, but when you push it, there's nothing central, solid, no little marble, no little soul, compact homunculus that's there seeing everything. In neurology they'll say, well, it's the cortex, or it's a sort of a feedback loop in the cortex, but this presence that I experience, it's not explicable by that. There will be an ever-receding series of homunculi or loops to explain that. And what it goes back to, which the analysis of this Skandhas doesn't give us, is that the true self is the nature of mind, is emptiness. It's clarity and emptiness, luminosity and emptiness. So that the self, in a way, it's empty, it's nothing, yet it's aware. And that awareness is what you really are. You're not all of these contents of form or perception or impulse. And what the analysis is designed to do is to help you see the components of what you consider to self. Sometimes it's even a little feeling here, or the eyes. You begin to see what you think yourself is. You begin to see that you just locate certain little physical feelings in the eyes, and you begin to see through that. It's to help you see that there's no solid self and nothing to grasp on, and to loosen that grasp on the physical world, on the self and the object. And it's not a nihilistic analysis, because it leads to a letting go leads in time with meditation to a realization of this empty but lucid and cognitive self. Now in enlightenment, just to push it a little bit, and final words here, appearances continue. It seems that no matter what we say philosophically or so on, appearances continue, but empty appearance, empty being empty, the word empty meaning empty of projections, of thought. It's direct appearance. So, you know, the ancients didn't distinguish. I mean, it's not like you're just going to see patches of color. When you're enlightened, you'll be some kind of super enlightened idiot that only sees patches of colors and doesn't see things. You know, appearances continue to emerge. I mean, a tree is a tree. A mountain is a mountain, as the Zen saying said. You know, before a mountain was a mountain, a tree was a tree. Then a mountain was not a mountain. Then finally, a mountain is a mountain. Which is, you know, the last Oxford pictures in Zen is going back to the marketplace, but without projections now. So, in my sense, I have not read this anywhere, is that in enlightenment, in terms of what they call the Skandhas, form and feeling continue, because again, pain, pleasure continue, just not suffering, which is a resistance to what is, whether it's you know, resisting pain and complaining and tightening around it, or pursuing pleasure and grasping it and not wanting to let it go, and wanting to change as everything changes. That's a suffering, but not pain or pleasure. Those we just have. That's part of the world. That's part of the world of appearance. So, in that sense, I suspect that's what's left. Although other writers say that even pain disappears out of power. So on that note, we will let you be, and that's the presentation of the 5 Skandhas. Again, is to help you see the composite nature of the world, of the self that you have clung to, and to help you let go of that through analysis. Now, ultimately, through meditation, though, analysis is not sufficient. Analysis is a preliminary, preparatory ground making. Eventually, you have to see the nature of that clear, lucid awareness that's cognitive, cognizant, and empty. The clear light, the mind of clear light. That's what really the mind of clear light is. Not a light. It's not. You don't see a white light, although you know the NDE says those things, but more of the light of awareness. And that's the ultimate realization that we practice in Dzogchen, as we will speak more about. I want to acknowledge that we have a subscriber, the first subscriber to the series, so I'm happy to see that it may take some ground. Also, best laid plans of mice and men. I had planned to create videos every few days, but I lost my internet connection for a couple of months, so I'm very happy to be back and talking to you. Have a good one. I hope this was helpful.